Chairman and founder of FLAIA. FLAIA is a 501c6 nonprofit that was started in the summer of 2007. Today, we're a leading marketplace for alternative investment education, as well as opportunities. And I'm going to page forward here. Originally from Providence, Rhode Island, born and raised in a Italian real estate family. And it's basically me on the left-hand side. Behind me is an Apple IIc computer, a floppy disk drive on the right-hand side. And that's me in my uniform. I did a lot of cleaning and maintenance and painting and working on projects, but I've always had a passion for computer programming and technology. On the right-hand side, it's my wife, my son, who's now 16 years old. That was his 13th birthday that day, and the governor or former governor of Florida, current senator of Florida, Senator Scott, and his wife. And I'll explain in 1 second why that's important. But I moved from Rhode Island to Miami in the mid 90s, went to University of Miami, graduated, fell in love with the city, didn't want to leave. So I went into wealth management, working for UBS, covering family offices for the firm. In 2006, I started Alexander Alternative Capital, a global macroeconomic hedge fund, set up initially to bet against real estate and to preserve the value of people who had exposure to the real estate space. I found myself as an owner of a hedge fund, didn't know what a hedge fund was. That's why I started FLAIA. FLAIA was originally called the Florida Alternative Investment Association. It was rebranded in 2019 as FLAIA because that's what most people call this anyway. In 2010, after the financial crisis, a lot of our members were asking us what we were doing to help them find capital. So we started a process. It was a legislative process, and we went and did an analysis of the State Board of Administration of Florida, the Florida SBA, and their portfolio and its lack of exposure to alternative investments. As a result of this analysis, we made recommendations, which included, private equity, hedge funds, venture capital, real estate, so that they could diversify their exposure. And it took 2.5 years, but we got them to allocate to alternative investments through what's called their strategic investment bucket, which freed up roughly $16 billion of capital to go into the alternative investment space. Through this process, we were able to attract a lot of really, institutional investors, asset managers, and world-class service providers. These numbers are a little stale. The organization's actually grown about 50% since I updated this presentation last. But basically today we have over 15,000 investors on our platform located all over the world, with trillions of dollars in discretionary assets. Some of them have over $1 trillion in one group. So the organization, which originally started in Florida, has now grown to be a global organization. We have small emerging managers. We have small accredited investors. Everybody has to be an accredited investor or more to be on our platform to use our tools. And there's a process to ensure that. But we also have $100 billion alternative investment managers with 30 plus year track records of history. And we have sovereign wealth funds on the allocator side. The organization, this is the actual breakdown into the buckets. It's about 55% investor to 45% asset manager or service provider. So that's roughly how it breaks down between buy side, sell side. It's pretty balanced. So we've built a systematic approach to successfully investing in alternative investments, whether it's a private investment, like, needing to subscribe through subscription documents in offering materials like a private placement memorandum, or an alternative investment that is inside of a coin, or an alternative investment that's inside of an ETF that's listed on one of our public exchanges. So our liquidity profile for our investments is everything from super liquid to super illiquid. What makes us different than a lot of the platforms out there is we don't take in money directly. We're focused on educational content. We're able to be an open platform, a truly open platform, as some of these people can't have an open platform. They want to push their own products. And, we've made sure to do this inside of a user profile system, which includes investor accreditation. It includes preferences, like, what types of investments you make, what size investments you make, how do you classify yourself, what are you interested in from a sector perspective. So we have a lot of user analytics and data, and we use this data and analytics to match off various opportunities with capital. And it's a process that we initially started to develop with MIT's investment management company over 10 years ago. And we've taken that process and systematically delivered it through the FLAIA platform. But again, this organization is not about selling alternative investment opportunities. It's about educating on niche alternative investment strategies, right? And it's done through education. We're bringing to you the best in the business, the top people in the field, to give you a doctoral level class on how they invest and how they think about risk and what they do to mitigate risk, and why it's the best risk-adjusted returns that they can think of at this time. All right. So again, best of breed. I've sat through 20,000 presentations over my time. We have a marketplace on the left. That's a screenshot of a group that we started working on their first digital marketing effort back in 2019. They were starting a fund to buy aircrafts and to lease aircrafts. It's a group that the principal, he went to Harvard. He went to work at Goldman Sachs. He started this firm in the early 90s, and he grew it to be, one of the preeminent fund of funds in the world. Over the last 8 years or so, they've been transitioning from a fund of funds model to direct investments. They came to us, we helped them, and in June of 2020, they were able to launch with over $400 million of capital. So it's one of the success stories that came out during COVID. So I work with investment managers, I work with allocators, and this slide right here is about simmering down a process, is taking a very complex alternative investment process and being able to explain it simplistically, right? what is it that you do? How does it perform from the point of view of the investor in good, normal, or bad environments? Like, what is my expected return? How are you going to manage risk? And what happens if something goes wrong? How do I get my money back, or how does this whole process work? Who's the team? Where have they worked? What schools have they gone to? How am I going to get comfortable that this return is going to be continued to be produced? So we started what's called the FLAIA, and we built this technology into our platform. So this slide right here is about different types of engagement and what drives demand for alternative investment strategies. All right. And if I was doing this for you or for your fund, these are the thoughts that I would be thinking about right now. You need to be able to get exposure. You need to be able to expand the circles that know who you are. So you need to be able to amplify up your message. You need for your message to be like crystal clear, for it to be sharp, for it to be easily remembered, and then for others to be able to teach others about your alternative investment strategy. That's the first part. But once you start getting your presentation down and you start understanding how to communicate what it is that you're doing, you need to get exposure to a wider audience. This slide is about how do you do that? How do you get wider exposure? How do you do better with emails? How do you get better results from emails? How do you get people to register for your webcasts? How do you get them to go deeper into your marketplace listings, right? Should you be advertising with Google through AdWords? Should you be advertising with Facebook, with LinkedIn, with Instagram, with Twitter? What are the right advertising processes so that you can generate more attention? Should we be doing live webinars? Should we be recording the webinars? Should we be distributing on-demand links after we do a live webinar? Should we be posting registrations to our LinkedIn networks? So this is all the stuff that we've been focusing on for over 10 years. And this is the stuff that we already know what works. We're leaders in the space. We have some patents that are pending. We built a pretty cool platform on top of Zoom before Zoom was able to build it themselves. So if you are interested in learning some of the answers to the stuff, reach out to me, to Jeremy, to Kevin, anybody on our team. We're happy to help you out with that. And if you're looking to do due diligence on alternative investment fund managers, use the platform, go in, see what people say, take notes, look at them a month later, look at them at 2 months later. Our platform provides alternative asset managers the ability to talk over periods of time. So look at how their story either changes or stays the same, and do your due diligence and look at the content. It's there. It's easy for you to log in no matter where you are in the world. We're not going back to normal. We believe that COVID's here for a while. It's going to stay. That investors need to get more comfortable with the new digital tools. We know that this isn't going to change. So if you guys are interested in learning more how we help our members, please reach out to us. And with that said, I'm going to kick it back over to Kevin. Thank you all for your time today.
Yeah, thank you, Michael, for your time to share about FLAIA with us today. As Michael has mentioned, if you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to us at michael@flaia.org, jeremy@flaia.org, or myself at kevin@flaia.org. And now next we have Brooks from EDNS Man Capital Markets, who will be presenting a deep dive into the world of regulated crypto derivatives, futures, and options. Brooks, you here with us today?